members of Parliament sworn in, second annual Health Expo launched, and Government Comes to You outreach taken to Region 5. The details of these and more on this week's InfoHub recap, where we highlight stories covered from Tuesday, April 23rd to Friday, April 26th.
The future of Guyana has never looked better. Our nation is on the cusp of a development program like never seen before. While Guyana is now emerging as an energy giant through the discovery of massive reserves of oil and natural gas, it is your government's intention that the huge benefits emerging from this will go where it matters most, to you, the people of this beloved country. There is a surge of confidence in the way Guyana is governed once again, and the level of investor interest is unprecedented. Guyana is poised to become the breadbasket of the region, and the pace at which this nation will grow through prudent fiscal management will be nothing short of impressive. But more than anything else will be the way every Guyanese, regardless of color, class, or creed, becomes a part of this historic period of national transformation, sharing in the wealth and well-being of it all as one Guyana.
Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu has condemned in the strongest possible way the senseless and beastly massacre in Sri Lanka by terrorists of more than 300 persons and injury to more than 500 others. Prime Minister Nagamutu said the cowardly attacks against churches on Easter Sunday and the wanton killing of Christian worshippers, including children and mothers, and the bombing of hotels that claimed the lives of foreign tourists, speak to a deadly terror against which the world must now unite. All peace-loving Guyanese who observed Easter as a national holiday share the shock, the grief, and the loss of the people of Sri Lanka and nationals of other countries who are victims of those horrible terrorist attacks. Guyana mourns with the people of Sri Lanka, the relatives of the innocent victims and survivors, and feel their anger and fear. The Ministry of Agriculture, in keeping with a promise to rice farmers, has ensured that the Guyana Rice Development Board dispatched various teams to Regions 3 and 6 to assist in the management of the pest.
Despite the issue of paddy bug infestation causing severe damage to production, some sections of farmers in Region 2 are refusing assistance from the Guyana Rice Development Board, citing increasing production and labor costs as their reason for doing so. General Manager of the Guyana Rice Development Board, Nizam Hassan, said such a situation can have a negative impact on the industry and urged farmers to look at the bigger picture. He urged them to put aside any differences and work together with the board to ensure that the industry continues to prevail. We have implemented a number of measures, especially in the areas of extension services being provided to farmers countrywide, to ensure that their livelihoods are protected. While this attracted costs and man-hours, it was necessary to ensure that our farmers remain happy and comfortable. To this end, the GRDB team, headed by entomologist Dr. Vivian Baharali, embarked on a paddy bug management exercise which started on March 5, 2019. This saw the team providing insecticides and technical support twice daily to ensure not only that the affected farmers are rid of the bug, but that farms which are not affected remain in that state. However, while some farmers positively accepted the assistance, others refused it. In one instance, a farmer refused the assistance and chased the team because he was not given the insecticide alone. There were other instances where farmers wanted the insecticide only and not the technical support, but the team insisted that the application technique is monitored for accuracy. Again, the assistance was refused. In other instances, farmers would agree to work with the team but would never show up to have their fields sprayed. As a result, the bugs are migrating from the unsprayed fields as the food source is being depleted to the more vulnerable fields. The farmers for each field being monitored are contacted and informed of the paddy bug levels, which were recorded above the threshold in all cases, and arrangements made to have sprayed at the earliest. The GRDB has been providing the insecticide and technical support with respect to the application techniques, and the farmers were responsible for providing the labor. Reporting for InfoHub, Nikosi Bruce.
The Rupununi Rodeo attracted thousands of Guyanese and tourists from the Caribbean and other countries, offering thrills and other attractions for a wonderful family setting.
Those were some of the exciting activities that thousands of local and overseas patrons were treated to at the Rupununi Rodeo in Lethem. The event got off to a great start today as cowboys and cowgirls battled in adrenaline-pumping competitions of calf roping, hearse and bull riding. Ministers of Indigenous Peoples Affairs Sidney Alicock and Social Cohesion Dr. George Norton were also present at the event.
The Ministry of Indigenous Peoples Affairs and the Government Extension would like to continue to work with the region, with RCCI, with the Town Council, and with all the villages within Region 9 to making this a bigger and better activity in the future.
Rodeo in the Rupununi has been a part of our national events calendar, but we need to emphasize more on it. We need to have a special allocation, that's budgetary allocation, to see how much we can help this unique activity here in the Rupununi. And we also want to improve on the skills, because we've seen rodeos in Brazil and in Texas in the United States that is very much more advanced than we have here in Guyana. And it's not because we can't get there, but of course they need the necessary support, and as a government we are prepared to give them that support.
The 2019 Rupununi Rodeo attracted many first-timers traveling to Lethem, mostly from Georgetown. As day one of the activities kicked off, patrons turned out in their numbers to witness the event.
First time I'm here, the rodeo, and yes, I'm blown away, I'm amazed.
It's actually my first experience at rodeo. I'm just moved back home actually, and it's a great experience. I actually particularly love the Amerindian art that they have. Just portrays their talent.
We're here from Georgetown. It's our first time up here, but we are awesomely excited about the rodeo. We've been planning for a while now, so we're happy that we're here and we're looking forward to having a great time.
This year's Bartica Regatta attracted thousands over the Easter weekend. Large and small business operators received a bump in their revenues. Our InfoHub team spoke to several of the small vendors.
Good, very good.
So the sales were, it was okay, it was good.
Our business has been good. You know, the regatta season is a very busy season in Bartico, and we've had a lot of guests from overseas and Georgetown, Borbeach, Linden, so it's picked up.
In the meantime, Mayor of Bartica, Gifford Marshall, said Regatta 2019 was indeed a success.
I want to say thanks to central government and the entire business community for their overwhelming support. Regatta 2019 was a resounding success. All of the activities we had saw maximum participation from the community and patrons from across Guyana.
From Bartica, Felicia Valenzuela, InfoHub.
On Wednesday, we reported that the overpasses were built to ensure the safety of pedestrians, an initiative taken by the government. However, the safety structure of two of these overpasses was vandalized recently, causing the Ministry of Public Infrastructure to initiate much-needed repairs. The ministry is calling on persons to desist from vandalizing the structures. Citizens are encouraged to report any suspicious activities.
Commuters that frequently use the overpasses constructed by the Ministry of Public Infrastructure in Diamond and in Providence have recently had their safety compromised since those overpasses have been subjected to vandalism. We will now speak to commuters in both Providence and Diamond to gather their thoughts on this criminal activity.
I feel that the act is very ridiculous because I cannot see that the government would have placed things there for the citizens of Guyana and you're just using it for the disadvantage of our country at large.
The overhead pass helped me a lot to cross
and it is not right.
It's something good what the government do, but they don't have no right for this try to do of it. It's for everybody. You understand? This is not for one person. It's good for everybody. It's bad what they're doing.
We have to look after ourselves. We have to look after our safety because it's not right doing that. That is wrong, totally wrong for doing that. We're trying to develop the country. Let the country develop. Don't thieve these things.
Well, the walkway make that for everybody's safety. It's 100% like for cross the road and them things, they're gonna use the walkway. And if the people and other people could break it up, they put other people's life in danger.
I think it's wrong to vandalize the overpass because it's for our safety.
The Ministry of Public Infrastructure is calling on perpetrators to desist from such activities and on citizens to report any activities that they may see to the nearest police station or to the Ministry of Public Infrastructure's Public Relations Department on 227-0799. Reported from the Providence Overpass with videographer Anil Silal, Shaquille Bourne for InfoHub.
The Public Infrastructure Ministry is undertaking the upgrading of several roads in villages along the Essequibo coast. The InfoHub team recently visited Lima, where works are currently ongoing.
Just behind me, the Ministry of Public Infrastructure is undertaking some road works on the Essequibo coast. We will now speak to Mr. Philip Amos, the regional engineer, who will give us an overview of the works to be done.
This road here is under construction. You see it's covered in sand at the moment. That's just to protect it. It's ready for asphalting. We've broken up the existing road. We've leveled it and we've added crusher run and compacted it. And then what we've done is we've sealed it and then put sand on the top. And now we blow away the sand and we can asphalt.
The regional engineer said several villages along the Essequibo coast will soon benefit from road upgrades.
So we're doing numerous projects this year. We're doing works in Henrietta and Richmond and Anna Regina. We're also doing works in Charity. We're doing works in Sparta and we're doing works in Suddy and Golden Fleece.
Several factors would have played a role in the decision to upgrade the roads in the aforementioned villages.
Well, obviously, the worse the road, the more priority they get. Also, we look at factors of population and other factors such as whether there's schools in the street, somewhere where it needs multiple public access.
For InfoHub, Shaquille Bourne.
More roads. The Central Housing and Planning Authority, CHPA, is forging ahead with the construction of several roads in several regions as part of its overall aim of building cohesive and sustainable communities.
The Kitty Roundabout is another testimony of the government's commitment to improve roads in Guyana. Today, 15 contractors signed on with the Central Housing and Planning Authority to construct roads within 6 administrative regions.
On Wednesday, the contractors gathered at the Central Housing and Planning Authority boardroom where the signing of the contracts took place in the presence of Minister of Communities Ronald Bulkan and CHMPA CEO Leland Saul. The minister said the contracts will provide upgrading and consolidation of the infrastructure in existing housing schemes.
This administration has been engaged in the past 3 years with the task of consolidating the infrastructure within housing schemes that we inherited, where the infrastructure was incomplete, the roads were not to the proper standard, the drains, the water supply, and the electricity. And I believe in excess of $4 billion to date has been expended in this consolidation exercise of existing housing schemes.
The construction will commence as early as next month and is expected to be completed before the end of the last quarter. CHMPA CEO Leland Saul said the project will have a positive impact on the country's economy.
We will not tolerate unnecessary variation and poor quality work. We have a robust monitor and control mechanism. Likewise, it is expected that you will have your own monitor and control mechanism to enable the delivery of quality products.
Reporting for InfoHub with videographer Akin Thomas, I'm Ayana George.
The Central Housing and Planning Authority on Wednesday introduced a newly constituted board. Minister of Communities Ronald Bulkan notes that the board will oversee a more effective functioning of CHPA. In his statement at the board's first meeting, he urged the members to discharge their duties responsibly. The life of the recent board came to an end in January, with 3 members from the previous board retained. The 5th government outreach was held on Thursday at Fort Wellington in Region 5, where ministers and officials from 20 government agencies were on hand to address concerns of the residents.
The event kicked off at 10 hours, and despite the overcast skies, residents flocked to the Fort Wellington Neighborhood Democratic Council, where representatives from over 20 government ministries and agencies were present and ready to address any concerns they might have. These include the Ministry of Social Protection, the National Insurance Scheme, the Central Housing and Planning Authority, the Ministry of Agriculture, among others. InfoHub spoke with some of the residents to get their take on the initiative.
Well, I feel happy so the minister comes that I can come, to share my problem.
I feel happy. I feel happy about it.
Well, me feel happy because me want somebody to look in my matter.
Wonderful. I think they are doing a wonderful job. I can't complain at all.
It is a good thing. It is very good because you have problems in the village and the NDC don't listen to you. And I believe the government come down here to hear what's going on and they would know what is taking place.
I feel pretty good, real good, that you come and meet to the farmers and hear the farmers' issue and what happened.
The coalition government continues to reiterate its commitment to providing the good life for all Guyanese. As such, they have embarked on undertaking outreaches in Georgetown and Region 6, with more outreaches slated for other regions in the coming weeks. From Fort Wellington with senior videographer Tejpal Bridgemohan, Anarakan for InfoHub.
Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu said that the outreach is another example of open governance and another opportunity for Guyanese to experience democracy at work when the government comes to the people.
Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu shared his elation that Region 5 residents were given the opportunity to meet with government ministers and officials to alleviate the problems they are facing.
Another successful outreach. I know that the weather was bad and people came out. I came a little late, so I can tell you what I was made to understand, that quite a number of persons have been here from the early morning and they have been able to see their now favorite ministers, like the Ministry of Housing, Ministry of Agriculture. Of course, you see, Region 5 is the agro basin of all of our region, Region 5, Region 6, and here is the basin of the MMA. So many of the farmers who even came to see me have issues to deal with rice lands, lease arrangements, arrangement with the MMA.
Reporting from Fort Wellington in Region Number 5, Rebecca Ganesh, InfoHub.
Several Region 5 farmers are moving ahead with cultivation as they were presented with land leases on Thursday at Government Comes to You outreach.
As the government of Guyana continues its program of bringing government to you, we journey now to Region Number 5, Mahaica Berbice, where residents are coming out in their numbers to have their issues addressed. We're at the Ministry of Agriculture's booth here at the government outreach, where a number of leases are being issued to those farmers who would have applied for it over the years.
In all, we have 31 leases, which we had intended to distribute to farmers whose applications were approved by the Minister of Agriculture, but unfortunately, only 13 of those persons turned up, and those leases were given to them by the Minister himself.
It is expected that with these issuance of leases, that the Region Number 5 can see extensive development in the agricultural sector.
With videographer Kenyan Bacchus, I'm Nikosi Bruce for InfoHub.
4 new members of parliament were on Friday sworn in at the 113th sitting of the National Assembly.
I, Mervyn Williams, do hereby solemnly declare
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the people of Guyana,
that I will faithfully execute the office of member of the National Assembly without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and that in the execution of functions of the office, I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. So help me God.
The 4 new members of Parliament, after taking their oath of office during the 113th sitting of the National Assembly, were welcomed by Speaker Dr. Barton Scotland and other members of Parliament. In the meantime, the new MPs say they are ready and up to the challenge. The new appointments to the National Assembly were announced by His Excellency President David Granger on Thursday. The President also reassigned several ministerial portfolios. Felicia Valenzuela, InfoHub.
Speaker of the National Assembly, Dr. Barton Scotland, says the government continues to exercise its authority to govern the country without limitations. Dr. Scotland was addressing the House on the consequences of the Court of Appeal ruling on the December 21, 2018 vote in the National Assembly.
The effect of the decision of the Court of Appeal is that the government is returned to the same position of authority which it possessed before the no-confidence motion was debated on the 21st of December 2018. The present position is, therefore, that the government continues to exercise its authority to govern the country without limitation.
Dr. Barton Scotland, Speaker of the National Assembly. He says after the decision of the Caribbean Court of Justice on this matter, he will inform the National Assembly of the consequences of that court's decision. In the meantime, Dr. Scotland noted that one of the effects of the findings of the High Court is that persons who hold dual citizenship cannot lawfully occupy a seat in the National Assembly.
A number of the members of Parliament, 4 ministers and 3 members of the opposition who held or who still hold dual citizenship have taken steps to put themselves in order by resignation from the National Assembly.
From the Parliament building, Felicia Valenzuela, InfoHub.
The Public Health Ministry launched its 2nd annual Health Expo, which is slated to last 3 days from June 5 to 8.
Public Health Minister Vola Lawrence said the ministry is tasked with a very important role that is aligned with Sustainable Development Goal 3, which speaks to good health and well-being.
To ensure that all our citizens in Guyana are among the healthiest in the Caribbean and the Americas.
Minister Lawrence explained, in keeping with its mandate, the ministry will ensure the health and well-being of all by 2030. This year's Health Expo is expected to be bigger and better, and will see the inclusion of a career day for young people, a fitness center, the launching of the Non-Communicable Diseases Risk Factor Reduction Campaign, and a mini exposition on tobacco control. Minister within the Public Health Ministry, Dr. Karen Cummins, expressed gratitude to all stakeholders and participants for making the event a success and urged persons to take full advantage of the services the Expo has to offer.
To all the hard-working staff of the Ministry of Public Health, words are not enough to thank you for the stellar work you continue to perform despite the challenges you encounter on a daily basis. We are deeply appreciative of the diligent work you do, and we encourage you to continue to let your professional approach to tasks, dedication to duty, and commitment to best practices be the hallmark of the service you provide to the people of Guyana.
For InfoHub, Kippany Jordan.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Nagamutu said this year's Health Expo would be focused on providing the citizens with knowledge of services available to them through the public health sector.
Prime Minister Moses Nagamutu said at the launch of Health Expo 2019 that the nation's health has always been a priority concern of the government.
The issue of our nation's health to be a priority concern. I want to place in a context how and why Guyana enjoys free, accessible public health. The public health facilities are open to all Guyanese, and while we cannot boast that we have achieved
the goals we have set ourselves, but we are doing what a government should do to place public health as a priority.
Prime Minister Nagamutu said this year's Expo focuses on raising awareness on health services available to all citizens.
The reason for Health Expo, not only for the supplies of pharmaceutical, but that we must make available the range of choices to our people based on knowledge.
Prime Minister Nagamutu explained that much of our budget is allocated to the public health sector, from $23.2 billion in 2015 to $35.9 billion in 2019. This shows the emphasis the government is placing on the public health sector. Reporting from the Guyana in Georgetown with videographer Kareem Peters, Rebecca Ganesh, InfoHub.
This has been InfoHub Recap. Remember to subscribe to our website for more stories and follow us on our social media platforms. Have a safe and enjoyable weekend. Goodbye.